Hurry up. You too, Orange Bird.
I'm hungry.
Oh, good. Here's your orange juice. We have it every day because it's the kind of pure, natural food I like to serve generously.
Orange juice served generously from the Florida Sunshine Tree.
In the early half of the 1900s, Disney characters were a veritable force among consumers. Books, watches, buckets, dolls, board games, if it had a Disney character on it, it was selling. It was only a matter of time before Mickey and his friends were going to be approached by the food industry to promote their products. This is how, in the 1940s, Donald Duck found himself on Florida's Natural Growers' containers of orange juice. Donald promoted the health and taste of delicious Florida orange juice well into the 50s and 60s. So, when Disney was looking to expand its theme park enterprise, Florida looked very promising, with its cheap land and loyal corporate partners. In 1969, Florida's Natural Growers, now called the Florida Citrus Commission, signed on to sponsor a huge chunk of the unbuilt Adventureland, a sponsorship that would cost the commission $3 million. They would cover the Sunshine Tree Terrace and the Tropical Serenade, now called the Enchanted Tiki Room. As a thank you for their continued support, Disney created a new character for the company, and thus the Orange Bird was born. Designed by Bob Moore, he was a small bird with a Florida orange for a head and leaves for wings. He had a small tuft of leaf hair on the top of his head. As a gimmick, he couldn't speak. He instead thought orange thoughts in thought bubbles that everyone could see. The Florida Citrus Commission loved the new character, using the birds in magazines and billboards, advertising both orange juice and the new Walt Disney World. The residents of Florida saw the bird as more than an orange juice salesman, using him as a mascot of Florida and the fruit that kept its economy afloat. Most people probably saw the bird before ever stepping foot inside the new Magic Kingdom, but once they were there, guests could see the orange bird as a figure in the Sunshine Tree Terrace and as a meet and greet character. Merchandise for the bird was huge, but it all culminated in a record telling the orange bird's story. Since the orange bird didn't speak, the voice of the bird was Anita Bryant, a Miss Oklahoma and singer. The main track on the record was The Orange Bird Song, written by the Sherman Brothers.
Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think of funny thoughts, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird.
The rest of the record corresponded with a book that Anita would narrate. This pairing of Anita and the Orange Bird was wildly successful, and the public fell in love with the two.
Come to the Florida Sunshine Tree. Hey, come back, little Orange Bird. Visit Orange Bird and the Florida Sunshine Tree at Walt Disney World. And remember, breakfast without orange juice is like a day without sunshine.
They appeared in many advertisements together, although Anita did promote orange juice without the bird. But the partnership would not last. Anita was an outspoken anti-gay activist. In 1977, Miami passed a law that made it illegal to discriminate someone due to sexual orientation. Anita responded with a campaign called Save the Children, which wanted Miami to repeal the law. This worked, and the law was repealed later that year, and the backlash on Anita was immediate. She was featured on the cover of Newsweek, and her connection to orange juice was heavily mocked. There was a nationwide boycott of orange juice, and gay bars stopped serving screwdrivers, instead serving apple juice and vodka, calling them Anita Bryant's. This was so heavily publicized that she was mocked on SNL.
Top story tonight, Anita Bryant, former mediocre actress and orange juice promoter, performed coitus in public yesterday and campaigned to promote heterosexuality.
Other TV shows of the time made fun of her without even saying her name.
Now, what can I do for you?
Bourbon. Bourbon on the rocks, please. And you?
Well, I don't drink. I'll have an orange juice.
We don't serve orange juice anymore.
Anita was also one of the first people to be politically pied on national TV.
We were going to go on a crusade across the nation and try to do away with the homosexuals. And
Security agent.
No, let him stay.
No.
Let him stay.
well, at
That's
least
it.
it's a fruit pie.
Needless to say, the Florida Citrus Commission were not happy. They hated the negative publicity and the loss of sales from the boycott. Her contract was let lapse as the commission no longer wanted her as a salesperson. Even though the Orange Bird never spoke, he was losing his voice, the voice of his theme song. They tried to save the Orange Bird from disgrace, using him in nutritional cartoons, but it was too late. He was too tied up with Anita to be salvaged. In 1986, the Citrus Commission decided not to renew their sponsorship of Adventureland, and the Orange Bird disappeared from the Florida parks. In 1998, Donald Duck was removed from the orange juice, marking an end to the decades-long partnership. Then, in 2004, the Orange Bird was revived, but not in Florida, in Tokyo. The Japanese celebrate Orange Day on April 14th, a holiday for couples to restate their love for each other by giving oranges or orange-colored gifts. The bird fit in perfectly, and Tokyo Disneyland released merchandise featuring the character, thinking Japan was far enough away from the scandal to not have negative connotations about him. No backstory was given for the Japanese public, but they loved the character, and Orange Bird merchandise became a staple of Tokyo Disneyland. This caused the character to resurface, and in 2012, the Orange Bird made a comeback to the Walt Disney World. A figure has been put back in the Sunshine Tree Terrace, and Orange Bird merchandise is in full swing, with pins, dolls, towels, shirts, and more. His merchandise is now only found at the Magic Kingdom, and the walk-around character doesn't come out anymore, but he is so popular that he spawned a Minnie-esque companion, Tangerine Bird, who will be getting her own line of merchandise. Even Donald Duck orange juice is back in stores. The Orange Bird has been around for more than 50 years, and he's finally back home in Florida, where he belongs.
I'll fly the skyway over the beautiful highway. On my own a rolling stone I'll be. Far nicer places, friendlier, happier faces are waiting down the skyway just for me. And where the highway ends, I'll make some brand new friends. And oh, the fun we'll have when I flutter down. No one will think it absurd that I'm an orange bird, unable to speak a word or utter a sound.